Hello and welcome back to Oak City. This is our Plains and Prairies playthrough. This is going to be episode 15. We are going to be heading out to finish up some of our harvest work, or finish up actually, I think pretty much all of our harvest work for the year is what we're going to do. We also have a new income source that we are going to put in this month. So a lot to do on the agenda. We are just going to jump in and get going with it. As you can see, we are in the Colossus vegetable harvester here, so we are going to be heading out that, I believe it was the green bean field that we planted, actually is up and ready to go. So that's going to be where we're going to start for the month. We have decent weather going at this point, so we are just going to head out and go for the harvest. Right off of the bat, we'll worry about all of the other monthly maintenance, if you will, as we get there. Sell it off, product and all of that stuff, but that can happen in the rain, wind, or snow. Really, it doesn't really matter what all of that happens. So trying to get this field harvested and our new income source put in is going to be kind of the start. The sooner we can get it put in this month, the sooner we can start making money off of it, and it'll give us a little chance to do some building, checking in on things out. This direction we will be probably swapping out a few pieces of equipment this month. We have quite a bit going on as we're still in that early expansion phase of the farm. I mean, after this, things should get pretty big, or up and moving pretty fast after this. This, as you can see, is the field that we're going after. Again, it's put together, I don't know, 40 some acres probably. We'll take a look at the harvest there. Green beans, 97% yield bonus, so that should all go pretty well. Should be a pretty profitable field. Let's get that going. Trickiest part of this is probably going to be just getting it started. Alright, there we go. Somewhere in there is going to be a clean start. And there we are. Off and running. We do have the trailer. Whoa, not off and running right, that's for sure. Hold up. Don't run us into the fence. You gonna grab? Oh wait, why did it fold up? That was awkward. Obviously I'm hitting the wrong buttons. Alright, there we are. Off and running on a clean start at that. Or with that, I guess. We are up and moving. This one obviously gonna harvest pretty fast. Modded Colossus obviously helps with does vegetables and everything. This mod just did get an update. They added even more stuff to it. So just one of the ease of use mods out there. You know, for sure. One of my favorite for getting things done, especially for the solo player, as far as vegetables and beets and all of that stuff go. It just makes life much, much, much easier. And you can see it certainly takes down the field pretty quick. It can do it much faster too. You can upgrade the engine much more and go way faster doing it and have a much bigger head on it and all the rest of it if you want to. I find this to be a decent mix of getting it done but still having to put in some work to do it. It definitely does make it way, way easier, probably 4 or 5 times faster than it would be normally, to be real. So yeah, you know, if we don't get air every little bit here, it's not going to crush us. 1 or 2 plants missed. Not going to be a big deal, so we will just kind of take in a quick look here at what the yield is going to be off of the hedgerow, which looks think it's going to be pretty high, although not absolutely insane. So that's cool. Should be able to cover some ground nice and quick here. Probably should have done, in fact, I think we will change it to do 2 hedgerows. It'll just make getting around the field a lot easier. So I'll try to do that. Heading up here, so we can get this flipped over. Something like that. There we go. Cruise along, things working out fine there. That time, a little bit of a rough start getting in the field, but now it's going to work out. It's like, what, we're going to be 20, 25,000, something like that for the hedgerow. In that neighborhood, which is going to be quite a bit. Obviously. And this is scooping it up way, way faster than the stock little machine. It's, like I say, at least 4 to 6, maybe even more times faster. Much more convenient, especially for a single player. Trying to get in and get it done. Let you work some acreage of this. Otherwise, doing, I don't know how long this field would take with the other small machine, but it would be quite a while. Field here, but I think we'll just actually, gonna put the other hedgerow on. I don't think we need to worry about getting that in, and then I'll just turn around and catch back up as either the machine gets full, so we'll see where we're at with the field, or when we get the whole field clear, if that happens without having it up. Alright, here we are coming down the last stretch, last row of the field. Looks like we are going to get the whole thing on board, only at 89%. We do have the 250,000 liter capacity on this machine, so definitely holds plenty. That is for sure. And green beans definitely not what you would call higher yield, even with a decent yield bonus. We were looking at a 97% yield bonus on this field, and as you can see, we still were able to pull the whole thing. 40 some acres in one go. So we will get that out of here and off the field. And then I think we'll take it over next door, and we are going to turn around and put in a new production to run these green beans. That is kind of the idea there. So we are going to go with the preserve food factory, which is going to let us turn around and do a bunch of canning and that of multiple different kinds of crops, to be honest. So it's just going to give us some flexibility to run things through. It definitely can run a ton and make a lot. I don't think that we're going to be filling it with all the different types of stuff, but we will be trying to get a few things running through there. So we are going to kind of head over here towards our industrial park and see what we can do about putting in. Whoa, missed the fence. Alright, let's fold it. That'll solve the problem. There we go. Get that around. This thing, not exactly the most agile machine in the world. There we go. Some apple juice over there. Not sure, we'll have to take a look at what we're going to do with the apple juice. I think we'll just probably drive this thing over here and get it out of the way somewhere. Alright. Anywhere on this property I think would be fine. Let's turn around and get ourselves spun around so we're kind of looking at the neighborhood from the way we want to look at things. Then we'll head in here, factories. We'll look for the preserve food factory, which is somewhere around here. Actually, the thing is kind of expensive, I think. Where is it? Sawmills. A lot of options. Where is it? That's not it, is it? No. Somewhere in here. There we go. All the way on the bottom. Big industry. Alright, that's where the stuff, that's where the grade is. How do we want to do this? Something like up in here, and then we gotta move. We have to move that road if we want to do something like that. Let's see how straight. All right, let's get down to where we can do something about things here. Take a look. Yeah, it looks fairly straight-ish. Enough to what we want to do. Now we have our janky little road in here, but we've always been going to redo this road, so even if we move that back a bit, not a big deal there. Something like that would probably work out okay. Yeah, we'll do something like that. Just kind of let it auto go in there. Let's go in and smooth out a few little bits here. We'll just turn around and try to make sure that we don't have any big ridges on the edge. So if we just kind of give it a quick go around there, that should take care of that. There's going to be our dump grade. Alright, good. Got that. Before we turn around and go spending a bunch of money on just making things look decent, let's go ahead and get our product dumped off in there. I mean, if nothing else, we can actually make this work. For now, we definitely don't need it to be pretty to do that. Alright, we're just gonna offload right into here. Turns out we didn't need the trailer after all. We'll definitely need it for our other harvest this month, so that's fine. Alright, gonna go in there. Let's jump into here. Take a look. Preserve food factory. We are gonna look for green beans. Jarred green beans. There we are. And let's activate that. 240 actually was our holding. Looks like we got 226 in there. Is that? Yeah, so actually 94% full off of one field. Definitely going to call that one a winner. So a good size field for that kind of stuff there. And now we are up and running. So we should see some products coming out here at some point. Obviously not going to be super soon. It's going to take a while to run all that. But with that is going to get that going. Yeah, money-wise, we better not turn around and spend a ton on beautification project right now. That industry was a little more expensive than I figured, cutting us already down to $500,000. Although we're going to make some money back too, so let's go ahead and just kind of get this parked, and then we'll set up our next steps from there. Here we are, pulling up into the field, getting ready to go ahead and deploy the plow. So we will just kind of get that set up here. Gonna turn around and let Earl take care of this one. We'll go with, I don't know, we want to do two hedgerows just to keep them off the fence. That's fine. Do that. Bam, and send it. Make sure that this all gets going and we're good here. Alright, there we go, getting that one started, and then with that we will turn around and jump up here. Let's turn around and go ahead and unpack this thing here, get her opened up and ready to go. Turn this on. We should have a pretty good yield here on this cornfield as well. Take a look if we can get it to pop up. 97%, so first time run through at 97. Not too bad. Get that turned on. We don't have a mulcher, so that's always going to cost us a little bit, or at least we do not have a mulcher currently. Have to pick one of those up for sure. Alright, let's just kind of try to jump this into the field here, get a nice bite started, and see if we can send it on its way here. Alright, the head is working out to the edge there, barely, but it's getting it all, and we're working there. Be interesting to see first harvest here around the field, how well this one does. Just in general, always plowing fields together gets interesting sometimes to see how it goes. We are really awfully close to this bush tree up here. Corn is just about growing right into the tree. Crazy, actually. Really very close. But we work right by it also, that's fine. No problem, it's not interfering. Somehow we missed. I wonder how that corn we got out there, honestly. It looks like it's not in the row, but we are not going to worry about picking that up either. So this corn is going to be our stock, or the rest of our stock for the year. This is obviously the biggest field we have, so we'll kind of just have to see where we're at number wise when we get this one harvested. We're not going to miss that. There we go. Of course, there's probably going to be a few there that it doesn't want to pick up anyway. And we'll either get them on the up and downs, or we just won't worry about a little bit here and there. A couple of ears of corn for the crows are no big deal. Nope, 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 nope. Let's just run this corner, and we'll get it back on the GPS there. Get us working on the field here, or around the curve. That, oh, it's just a bush. Okay. 16,000 on the hedgerow so far, but we haven't even really gone. We have not gone very far yet, so I would assume this field should yield quite a bit. One would think. Corn currently our main harvest crop. Why it keeps going down there every single time. Alright. This, whoa, 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 whoa. No, now we're in trouble. Let's see if we can save it out of there. Sweet, we did. Horrible time to be looking at the field information. Alright, good, good. Everything's still working. We're good. Phew. Yeah, I was worried. Always been worried about running into those irrigation ditches. Honestly, that's the first one to put a combine in, and yeah, kind of surprised that it came out of there. That would have been horrible if we'd actually had to reset that there. Losing most of our hedgerow would not have been fun, or losing half of the hedgerow would have been fun for sure. Would have had to try to offload or something like that. This again a case of where upgrading to the Colossus is really going to pay off as we approach the 25,000 liter mark here. That would have been the storage capacity on our old John Deere there, so we would have just ran out here. Really inconvenient place, honestly, to be emptying or dumping if you had to. So good thing that we had upgraded to the Colossus just in time actually for larger field harvests. Gonna make this just a much easier task. See the morning mist coming in there. Kind of cool on this map, just the way that it settles over the fields. looks good. Here we go by the 30,000 liter mark. Definitely gonna get a decent yield off of here. Should go back to looking at productions and whatnot that we were going to be looking at when ran off of the field there, and see exactly where we need to put this corn, or if we're going to be storing it or just selling it outright, which I don't see us selling it outright. This should be enough to keep our industry moving for the next year, but I don't think it's going to be like a lot of extra to turn around and sell. So I don't see us having a lot of pure corn profit here. Setting that down there. All right, there is where we're working. Let's go take a look at our production real quick. We have corn in here, which we're only down 11,000, so that's actually really convenient. And here we're going to be able to hold up to 250,000 more liters of corn actually to go in there. So I can pretty much guarantee that the bulk of this field, if not all of this field, is actually going to end up in productions yet again. So definitely not enough field planted in corn, even though we had 2 fields this year. This field, I want to say, I don't remember how much it is, 11 acres, 30, 38, 42. So this is really only about 42 acres of corn. It looks like it's quite a bit bigger field than the other one that's like 40 acres, but it's just the shape of the field, I guess. Not really all that much bigger. So we're getting a good yield off it, so it is definitely going to contribute to the farm. I mean, this is going to really keep us in business. And obviously without it, we'd have been out of corn shortly. I can't believe how fast that thing is ripping through all that corn. We have enough room here. 44,000 liters came off of the hedgerow there with just a single hedgerow. Well, huge, massive amounts of grain going to come off of this field. But we're not going to go straight back and forth. What's the deal? Okay. So we're going to have what, arcing? I suppose it's going off of the other side of the field. That's going to be really inconvenient, though. Not a huge fan of that. But it kind of is what it is at this point. The field's in. You can't really manipulate a lot in this space. It just kind of is going to be what it's going to be. So we'll just have to see how it works. Coming out, if it's too big a pain in the butt, we may just plant something. I think some other kind of crop in here. Although I suppose it shouldn't be too bad. It's a good open space. Hopefully we make it to the end here so we can get a decent dump. 2 hedgerows probably would not have been a bad choice here. Or that's definitely going to fill it up. Get the pipe up extended here for a quick empty. Man, stop sending me all the way down there. Traffic? No traffic. That's amazing. Only one person sitting there waiting for 6 years to move. Don't go around the tractor. Whatever you do. There we are. Good. Cool. So we'll get that in there. And then I'll jump in and we'll grab till we get to the next load and we'll catch up at that point. Alright, here we are pulling in. This is going to be dump number 2 off of the field. And here we come sliding in for the 3rd full bucket that we're going to grab off of this field. Swinging in for bucket number 4 here. That's going to put us at about 200,000 liters. And I do honestly think we're probably going to end up pulling more than this trailer can hold. But with that, we're going to keep on going. Here we are coming in for the 5th and final dump that's going to go ahead and fill up this trailer. As you can see, we are at 80%. Another 50,000 here is going to give us 250,000 liters of corn coming off of this field. So we'll definitely call that one a success and a winner. The 97% yield bonus definitely paying off on this field. This one shut off here, and while we still have this running, I think we'll go ahead and scoop up the rest of the field here. Should be able to get it all on board, or at least hopefully we can get the rest of the field on board, and then we won't have to bring the trailer back down here necessarily to dump. But with that, gonna try to get the rest of this field cleaned up and see where we get to. Here we are, dropping the head on top of the trailer. We did turn around and pull another 43,000, almost 44,000. So in total, that's going to give us, 294,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. Get that turned off there. We are going to have to jump into here, haul that down, and we'll go get that dumped quick. So here we come in with our corn delivery. We will just be getting that dropped off here. And I think since we are here, we'll take care of a couple other orders of business. So gonna jump out and we'll go ahead and slide these over, which will let us see where we're at. Mainly for pay for the month. Definitely not gonna take care of everything we have. We do still have the apple orchard, although the apple orchard, honestly, I'm not sure whether we're going to move that juice out or whether we're going to look for a nice high selling price on the juice. All that's to be determined yet. These corn tortillas are definitely our monthly income, though. We've always said between this grain factory is going to get cleaned out every month regardless of what the price is. That's just our monthly income. We will also be doing the same thing with the preserved food factory over there, excuse me. So we won't be doing a lot of like storing and holding and looking for good sell times there. We're just going to be selling product. That's going to be our monthly income for the farm, and always give us a chance to do new things with the income. It's kind of the idea there. Same thing with the income from the grain factory here, or the grain production. Not quite a bakery. Does it obviously a few different things, and some things much faster. Alright, so getting that in there gonna certainly help our monthly income. I guess we can turn around and just take a look quick at what we end up out of with that. Yeah, what is it? $156,000 worth of corn sold. So when that's up and running, nice 150,000 in income, and then we'll have to see what we're going to get out of the preserve food factory. But I think some of this here we'll quick jump in and just get rid of some of all this. Let's see, we can go along here. We're okay with how things are right this minute. I mean, that's the kicker. I don't really know how I want all the road to go in here. Just kind of getting tired of looking at the field sore all the time. So we'll clean up a bit of that. This will just come in and fix the road, I think. All right. Run that across here quick. What's going to happen there? We can clean up all of that in little detail. Again, we'll just fix the road. Not a big deal there. Just trying to get rid of most of the field sore. Having the old harvested looking field here is just kind of getting annoying, to be real. So we'll get rid of some of that. Oh, and this too. Let's not even worry about the road. Just gonna kind of be a pain. Anyway, we'll clean that up. Looks like we actually have a little ridge to get rid of there. We definitely don't need that in our way. Grass. Alright, we're just going to concede that we're going to redo the roadway altogether. Let's just get rid of it. That's fine. Groovy. It'll take care of most of that. And then we'll go ahead and throw some grass in here. Over most of it. And we'll come in with the details here after we get the bulk of it down. Just much rather look at the grass field, to be honest, than old harvest. Alright. That should be a huge improvement already. We're not even close to done, right? Alright, gonna make things a bit easier. We will need to put some trees and stuff in here like that. That will probably wait on yet. Let's go down and see if we can find the gravel. Gravel. Now this we'll have to actually pay attention to a little bit more. Oops. Than we were. Kind of way do we want for the road here? We do want that to go down. Don't mind having a little bit wider here at the mouth. Make it easy to find it when we're pulling in there. Alright, that's good enough. And then we just kind of need to restore our roadway here. Again, road construction, things like that, definitely going to come in here and change how some of this operates. So it does not have to be perfect right now. Alright, and then this. How are we going to do this? One's a little bigger with the roadway in here. We will probably roll something like that. Don't mind graveling that. We still have a little bit of ridge in there. There's our road that we already had, right? And so this, we're okay. And we'll swing it down something like that. We know we don't want that straight like it was. Alright, something like that should be a little more along the lines of what we're looking for. And then we'll come in and clean up a little bit of this. Probably lose a little bit of road. Might have to clean that up again there. Might make it easier actually to get this without running into quite so much of it. There we go, not too bad. And then of course we will have to clean up a little bit up here. Alright, well, I'll keep flinging some things in here, and then we'll be right back with you. Alright, we have turned around and brought the plow up here. And we will be dropping that into the field real quick here, or at least that's the idea. Get this one working over, and then we'll go take a peek down at how everything else is going on. Oh my god. Alright, take two. Take. Alrighty, here we are jumping in with the plow. Gonna get this cornfield plowed up. We still do not have a mulcher. I don't think we're gonna spend the money on a mulcher. Honestly, this month we're looking at just, you know, it's 3% or something on the yield bonus, so not super worried about that at this point. Not gonna be perfect, but we will start getting that going. Hopefully that's gonna start getting going. And this we are gonna take down. Still got just about a full load on board here. Hopefully we can get that out of here. We do have our grain production. Alright, that one's going. Grain production is pretty much full. Only have 7,000 liters of room in there for any more corn. And our bioplastics is pretty much full. So this 43,000 we are going to turn around and just take back to the farm and store in the silo, and then we are going to have to do something about replanting fields and getting that other wagon back to the farm. It's actually right in here, and you probably can't even see it because there we are. Actually, so I should have just sent it right there, and it just sent that back to the farm. Did turn around and fill out the rest of the grass down there and put in a couple of trees, so we'll see that as we get in there. Honestly, nothing is like crazy spectacular or special with the build there, so not going to worry about kind of, you know, it's not like we have much to showcase in there. It's just grass covered and a few trees for now. We'll see it as we go in and out of there. Obviously, the industrial park there is going to be a work in progress, always changing as we bring in whatever industries we put into that space. So not committing too hard to things just yet. You know, any kind of trees or anything else we put in there are just trees we're going to have to remove. So not messing around with that too much. So I will get this up, and then we will address the planting situation. Back in the big versatile here, we have turned around and dropped off the plow, so we do have both fields are turned over now. We will be going to grab our new seeder. Did not go with the Plains and Prairies seeder yet. It's just too expensive. We can't really. I could have bought it, but then have absolutely zero money left, so not really looking to do something like that. So we are just gonna turn around and pick up this one quick. Suppose we should actually try to pick up some solid fertilizer too. Not how. You know what? We'll just grab a bin on the farm. It's not going to hurt having one around. If anything, we can turn around and get rid of it at a later date. It's not like we're permanently stuck with it. So I'll turn around, head this back to the farm. Hopefully we get through there. Sweet. And get this thing filled up, and then we'll head out to the field there. So here we are, got it all loaded up, 4,800 liters of solid fertilizer, 3,000 on the peas there. We are going to turn around and try to keep this a vegetable field, so that's the plan, is to go with peas. We had green beans last time, peas this time. It's kind of just going to be the thinking there. Peas definitely are a good paying crop, so we'll be trying to get that in. Actually, we could turn around, set this up like so. Turn that on and hit the road. We don't have a lot going on currently at this time other than turning around and getting in the planting. We do have, I guess, a little bit of fertilizing that's got to get done. It's not a heck of a lot. It's just the 2 grass fields have to get re-fertilized. This is a fertilize with the plant, so we won't have to worry about that as it's fertilizing. Well, it's planting going to get the first stage on. Same thing as our seeder, excuse me. This seeding doing the same thing as our planter with both. This one, I don't know. Peas may be one of the ones that you don't have to roll, so we may be saving ourselves. Yeah, we're saving ourselves that there. Nice thing with some of the vegetable crops is that they do not need rolling. We're not going to turn around and get crazy about worrying about jamming it into the corner there. Looks like we missed a little bit on the turnover there in the field, so a little bit of section going to be not perfectly planted. This thing obviously seeding at 10 miles an hour it looks like here, so not going to be a super fast run around the old racetrack here. We're down to 7. Why are we down to 7? This should have plenty of horsepower. I mean, it says it needs 300 horsepower. We have 400 on this tractor. Could be getting into a maintenance. Maybe should have swung this tractor into maintenance. It might help it go a little bit faster. It's the only tractor that we have really that has enough horsepower with the 3-point pickup to actually pick this seeder up. So we can't use the other big versatile to seed this. We do need something with the pickups on it. And this is the only tractor that we have to do that. So maybe maintenance would have been a thing in between. We're definitely going to be working this tractor quite a bit if it's the only one we have that actually is doing our plowing and our planting. I mean, this is the only one that can hook up to our plow really and get it working in the field. So we will need some more equipment coming up probably pretty soon, or this is going to just slow us down quite a bit. Although at least at this point we still don't have a ton of fields to work, but we really will be breaking that open here in the next year, as you know, profits are going to start to go up now that we have multiple industries working. The idea here is peas are going to be a short growth cycle, which is going to probably put them sometime done in what should be our off season. So depending on how we deal with that, whether we have to wait another month to harvest it, or we could have put something else longer growing in here, but honestly just kind of trying to get it kick-started and going with the new preserved food factory. You want to get something in here. At the end of the day, our seasons are on us, not on the game. We haven't turned those on yet. That'll probably be more like year 2, year 3 we'll kind of set into turning on the seasons and just dealing with doing what we can when, you know, doing how or whatever is proper planting at that point when we kind of can. At this point, if we weren't, I don't know, I just don't want to turn around and sit around and have months where it's dead space to not really do a heck of a lot. This map doesn't have a lot of forestry on it or anything like that to turn around and fill in the, you know, fill in slow months. Just not a lot of trees on here to cut down. I mean, you take them all down in a month, you probably still wouldn't make very much money, to be honest. Just not a lot of trees or high value trees, especially on this map, as you can kind of see out there. We will be planting some forestry zones obviously later on, just have not gotten around to it, which wouldn't be a bad thing to maybe get kick-started sometime soon, so it gives them some time to grow on their own. As you know, some of those trees take years to grow, so getting those in the ground wouldn't be a horrible thing. But I think for the most part, this seeding is going to go pretty uneventful. So I think we'll turn around and we'll do the peas in here, and then we'll check up when we get that done. We are about ready to finish up this field. We are just kind of on our last up and down. Have a few little spots to touch up on the hedgerow up here on the end. When we get down there, we'll have that to do, and then we do have one more field to seed, which honestly takes quite a while. This seeder is not, super big, super wide. We did actually have to fill it already once in the middle of the field here, so it's not going to cover this kind of acreage in one go with the seeds, at least for peas. It did definitely run out. Looks like it's going to go through about 1.5 of the stock in seeds to try to do a field like this in peas. Nice thing is here we don't have to roll it, but we do have that other field up here to also get seeded, which we will be going up to do after this. And then we have the 2 little fields yet to fertilize. However, I think what we're going to turn around and do is once we get this one topped up, I'm going to head the seeder up to the other field. I think this year we had corn in it last year, so we need to alternate into something else this season. So I think we're going to turn around and try to do a winter wheat crop there is what we'll do. So we'll throw wheat in it and we'll have that up next year, which should get us back to having some straw. And then we'll have wheat obviously to sell off or to use in a production out of it. But I do think that is going to be the other field up there, which is going to kind of put us out for corn now, but hopefully we can get to having another field and we'll worry about corn, I think, into the next year. Wheat's one of those that grows long. I'm pretty sure you normally plant it in the fall on here. I don't know. Could be wrong with that when it comes to season, so I shouldn't say anything there. But I know it's a long growing crop, so it's definitely going to take us over the winter and not have a problem. This pea field we may run into a problem with, and whether we're going to harvest it, make an exception for this one field, just trying to get the preserved food factory up and running. We'll just have to see how long this field actually takes to get done. But I guess with that, I'm going to turn around and pull this one out of the field, head it on up there for wheat, and then go ahead and get the rest of that fertilizing done. But I think for all intents and purposes, that's just going to be kind of a long seeding job, and we'll get that stuff cleaned up and done and then be ready for next month on the next episode. So I think that's where we're going to go with that. And I think for the most part we got our goals in. We did turn around and get in the new production, so the preserved food factory got a little bit of decoration going on there, so we no longer have like the plain or bland field going on there, the turned over field. So that's an improvement. Still obviously a lot to go with the decoration there, but definitely a step in the right direction as you can see it off there in the distance. So we're gonna call that one a win for the month. Say thanks for tuning in. Remember, if you get a chance, like, share, subscribe. Subscriptions are free, but they sure do help the channel. Y'all have a great day.